an itch. I have like a
Not an
stitch.
itch, it's
You got a stitch.
Yeah, like
got a
right
stitch in your
there, right in my rib.
You need a massage.
Oh, I would love a massage. Like a legit massage,
A
not
legit
like
one.
an Eric massage. Like somebody that gets paid to do it and
Yeah.
wants to do it.
Okay, you're
Does it where
on.
I need it.
Like
You're live.
here is my money. Don't talk. Turn down the lights and give me a nice
There you
massage.
go.
So
People are here.
I'm here. We're here.
We're here.
Happy 4th of July weekend.
Karen,
Hey, Shelley.
Linda.
Are you guys also having a very hard time with the fact that we are past the halfway point of this year?
Oh my
like,
God.
how is it
Yeah,
July
it's July
1st?
I can't believe it's
Like,
July 1st already.
I feel like it was literally just June 1st.
I feel like it was just like April.
I know, it's weird. It's very weird. You know why I don't like this? Because then the
No,
summer
it's
just
coming.
flies by, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, winter
Well,
again.
you know what I was thinking? I have to start contacting people about retreats in September for their balance.
See that? Barb's got to get the
Already.
money.
Already? I gotta give you money.
You gotta give me money, honey.
Who wants to send Barb money? Send it to me. I'll hold it for her.
No, don't trust her.
So, I posted this morning. I probably should have given you more warnings so you could come up with questions, but I know you'll think of things. We're having a free-for-all Friday because I just got back from Kentucky Monday afternoon, and I don't really have much for you guys. I have Court Club from June. I'm like, is that correct? Yes. The last Court Club, because I didn't get to show you last week. I made something using it for a video that I'm still editing. I'm having editing woes. It's like taking me longer than normal. And then we did some cleaning this week. Well, I did some cleaning. Let's not joke. I did some cleaning this week.
Yes, definitely.
And I found some random things, and I have to say, even though you're not being very nice to me today, Marlene, I got in touch with my inner Marlene.
And you threw it
and
away?
I said,
You threw stuff away?
I don't need this. I haven't touched this. I'm
There you
throwing it
go.
away. It feels empty around here because I just keep throwing things away. But I was like, I'm not even
Yeah.
going to hesitate. I pick it up and I'm like, no, you haven't touched that in so long. Throw it away. So I cleaned
Did a barb
out.
clean out.
I cleaned out so much that we filled the dumpster. The dumpster got picked up on
wow.
Thursday.
And it's full again?
It's
full
full
again?
again. I called them for a special pickup, and I think it's full again. So Eric, okay. Eric did some cleaning, but Eric didn't do the cleaning. You know what I mean? Like other people did the cleaning for Eric.
yeah.
There is a lot of stuff getting thrown
Clean
out.
by check.
There's a lot of just throw it out. So in doing that, I found some things, and they're just funny. So we'll look at some
I
things
do-
together.
I
So.
do have a question already.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
Let me do Court Club. Hold the
do that.
questions.
I think she found that
Don't
bag.
forget it. Don't
Try
forget
not
the
to
question.
get it. Okay.
Okay, because we're going to do Court Club and then we'll jump right into questions. So I just wanted to show you, and they are on the website. They're right on the top of the Court page. There is mocha flowers, which I love.
I like it.
And yes,
It is
technically
pretty.
it's kind of fall-ish,
It is, but it's-
but I don't care. I think it's so cute.
I like
It's
it.
subtle. It's nice.
Yes. So we have that. We have bark, which I really like.
That Marlene barked at.
Marlene said woof. And we have textured light mustard. And the reason it's light
I like that better than the mustard.
because
Yeah.
mustard is like in your face.
Yep.
And this is so here's natural, so you can see them together.
Yeah, if you don't see them together, it's hard to tell.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not as light, it's not as bright, it's right in between. It's like a wash of yellow, right?
Yeah, it's
So I was making the Alice video. No, it's not edited yet. Listen, guys, I'm having a week. So anyway, I'm having a lifetime, really. I don't know, does anybody else really not like this year? I'm hoping that the second half is like
Better.
killer. Like it's
Be gangbusters.
amazing.
We're gonna
Because the
make it.
first half of this year, like, can suck it. So anyway, I made Alice. And I don't usually
I
mix
like
that
it.
many prints. And this, to me, I know it's not a print, but it's got texture.
Yeah.
And then it's like a little bit of a print, and then a floral. I think it's really cute. I really
I
like how
like
it
it.
came out. And what did I put
That
inside?
would be a nice bag for my vacation next week
Well,
to
there you
take
go.
to Seattle.
Oh, that's what I put inside. Last of the, what do you call it?
Ochre.
Ochre.
Look,
Ochre. The last of it.
no
So,
wonder I couldn't find it when I needed it.
That's why.
exactly. So, okay. Questions. Go for it. We'll answer questions intermittently with my
This is kind
finds.
of out there.
Oh boy,
What's
I
the
love
be-
it.
What's the best paper for paper piecing?
The best paper for paper piecing, honestly, is the Carol Doak
Yeah.
paper piecing paper. And here's the thing. I'm going to tell you, I was a skeptic for years because literally you are going to sew on it or rip it and throw it in the garbage. Why am I going to spend extra money on special paper? So I always use printer paper. Printer paper is a pain because when you get multiple layers in your seams, your stitching's not great. The Carol Doak paper, it's just like, it's almost like a newsprint weight. It's just perfect. It prints really nicely. It's regular size, so you put it right through your printer and it tears out nicely. So yes, I love random questions. It's worth the extra money. Yes, I know you're gonna throw it in the garbage, but well, it's like buying the nice toilet paper, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it in the end, you know what I mean? So, I found something, and I showed this to Eric yesterday. He could not even believe this. So I am a notebook person. I have notebooks and sketchbooks everywhere. Speaking of, now he calls me. I called him like a long time ago. Not answering him. I always have a sketchbook going. I still can't find the one that I misplaced
Really?
after Houston. It's somewhere.
Wow.
It might still be in Texas. It has my name and phone number in it, but whatever. So I found this one, and I remember this one kind of, and I was like, that's an old one. Because I don't throw things out, I just set them aside.
Uh-huh.
This is the original
Oh,
Diva
oh,
wallet.
wow.
It didn't
Oh my
even have a
God.
name.
Frame
It was
wallet.
frame wallet. This is the original
comical.
Diva wallet sketch. So this
Love
notebook
it.
dates back to 2012. And back then, I guess I didn't put my name and stuff. Eric touched this one.
You think?
Because I usually put my name and my phone number in case anything happens, and I put the date. There's not a lot of other stuff in here, but I just
It
thought that
almost
was
looked like
so...
once Eric touched it, you were done.
Once
with
Eric
it.
touched it, it probably was done. So I thought that was really funny. And then I also found this. And I do remember this. I don't know why I have... This is like a graph paper book.
Yep.
This is when I first started making quilt designs because... I'll show you. This is how I know exactly what it is. I was on a plane coming home from
recognize that.
Portland, and I drew this up. And I never made it into a quilt, but I was on a plane, and I remember it because I had gone to Portland, Oregon for my first quilt market. It was I want to say 2013, I think. I'm pretty sure it was 2013. The next year was Pittsburgh. And I said to my friend, we were out there together, and I said, we need to do this. Like all these people that are at
Yeah.
Quilt Market,
Yeah.
we're here visiting. We need to do this. She was there because she had written a book and was doing a book signing and asked me to come along so she'd have to go by herself. And I was like, sure, why not? I don't really understand Quilt Market. Like I do and I don't. I was like, all right, I'll go with you. And we walked around and I was like, Sue, we can do this. We can 100%. We need to get a booth. And they said, oh, next year's in Pittsburgh. I'm like, Pittsburgh
Yeah,
is drivable. Eric will bring us. So, but this is a quilt pattern. This is sequence. This is one of my actual patterns.
funny.
So yeah, this dates back to around 2013. I still did not put my name in it, and I can't believe I didn't
So
do
your
that.
first quilt market was Pittsburgh?
My first one that I showed at,
Showed
yes,
at,
that I
yeah.
had a booth
That's the
was
first one I ever
Pittsburgh.
went to.
Well, it was so close to
Yeah.
us, you know, and so yes, my first one that I attended was Portland, and I had never been to Portland. I had been to the West Coast, but it was like a whole adventure. And I mean, it was one of those, like, I made no plans. She booked the flight, the hotel, like I just went because she told me what time we were leaving. One of those, you just show
Show
up.
up.
Just show up and have a great time.
Another question.
Yes.
Back to our paper piecing. Hate to ask another question. Can you spell the paper person lady's last name? A little slow this morning. It's
Her
D-O-A-K.
Carol Doak, D-O-A-K. If you look up anything that has to do with paper piecing, she is one of the top
Yeah.
finds. She is very, very well known in paper piecing. I have like every book she's ever written. I actually met her. I took a class from her in person. I learned a bunch of awesome tips from her. She was a really cool teacher. The one thing I'll never forget this. She walked around before we even started and she checked our pins. 'Cause she
Oh,
wanted to
really?
make sure we had good pins. I was sweating because she wasn't rude or anything, but she was walking around and she was like, these aren't good pins. These are really thick. Watch. And she'd like put it in. She's like, do you see how hard this is to put in? You want finer pins. You want like sharper pins. She went over to someone. She goes, whoa, these are like little daggers. These are so big and sharp. And I'm going, oh my God, what if I have the wrong pins? And she came to my table and I was sweating. I'm like, oh my God, I don't want this national teacher to yell at me. And she goes, these are good. These will work. I'm like, oh. Oh God, I've never been this nervous to have anything of mine looked at. But she was like, no, these are fine. So I'm like, okay, all right.
Another comment with regards to paper piecing
Yes.
paper, Helene says, second thought, you can buy a stack of blank newsprint from Amazon for paper piecing, less costly than Carol Keys.
Well, there you go. I have not used it, so
Oh, you need
that's good. And remember, I don't quilt that much anymore, and when I did, Amazon was not the daily part of my life as it is now. I don't want it to be, but it is. I found these cards that Eric bought me. Because he knows I love squirrels and chipmunks, and so I won't read the inside. But these were
Probably
random.
need to be edited.
No. Well, okay.
Yeah.
He did sign this one, TTFF, which we used to say to each other because somebody said it to me mistakenly, not knowing it was TTFN, Tata for now. So she mistakenly said TTFF, and he was like, "What does that mean?" I was like, "Tata F face, fill in the F." So it became the funny thing. So he signed it TTFF. So now you can share that with your friends. So I did not find the original boxed template, the box corner template. I haven't looked at home yet. Remember I was telling you I had these horrible rulers that I bought. I didn't like them, and I used masking tape. But I found one of the rulers. I have no idea why I kept this ruler. But this is why, and do not judge me. If you like these rulers, more power to you. I cannot read them. This is the ruler. It was like a little version. Do you see how it's like, it's turquoise and pink and black, and the numbers are weird, and it's got like the edge, which is a quarter. I could not, for the life of me, figure this out. And here's the thing. This is an inch, so this is an inch and a quarter. So I'm measuring from here, and things are the wrong size. I'm like, but why? So technically, this is an 8.5 inch ruler, but it only looks like it's 8, but then that says 9. I didn't like this. I did not like this at all. Maybe it's a 9.5 inch ruler. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.5. But
That's
here's,
to make a 9-inch block.
do you also see that this is 8 and that's 1?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I have a ruler like
June
that. and
Taylor,
never
I
used
have
it.
a bone to pick with you about these rulers.
Yeah.
So this is why I bought this whole set of rulers, because I was like, ooh, it's such a bargain.
That's why it's a bargain.
So if you can use them, then you're smarter than I am, because that drove me bananas.
Next
I
question.
couldn't do it. Next question. I'm ready.
Deb wants to know, for purse straps that cut at 4 inches and finish at 1 and are adjustable, do you use the extra wide sliders? If so, do you carry them?
Okay, so the question, in case you didn't hear it, if you're cutting a strap that's 4 inches wide and it finishes at 1, so we fold it 4 times, so obviously we're talking about fabric, do I use an extra wide slider? And I will explain if you don't know what that means. And do I carry them? So I will go backwards. Do I carry extra wide sliders? No, I do not. The big mouth or extra wide, they're different names. The reason I don't carry them is because nothing that I make requires them. Plus, it would be very confusing for 2 different sizes. And I think that the sliders we have fit pretty well with anything. The thickest that I ever have is canvas. Canvas, when you make a handle out of canvas, it is sturdy. And I'm talking the cotton canvas, like the regular. Didn't you use waterproof canvas on your Taurus tote bag?
I did.
The handles. So waterproof canvas would probably be about the same. It gets thick, but it still goes through enough. So I don't use the wide mouth or the extra wide sliders. The other reason that I don't is because, let's say I have that at home and I don't have like a regular one, and I put it on something like slippery, like cork, that's only 2 layers. I don't want my purse adjusting while I'm wearing it. Like if you put something too heavy in it, your purse starts sliding down. I would rather it was tight and a little harder to adjust than loose and it adjusts on its own. So, excuse me, I hope that answers your question. You guys ask me a lot, like, oh, do you have this product, but will you get it? Will you carry this? We never know. Honestly, we don't have a plan. I don't sit and go, okay, for this year, these are the new products we're gonna carry. Things happen, I see things, I like things, I add them on. Space is always an issue, I've told you guys that. Money, it's a big investment for me. Just so that you understand, I don't mind investing money and investing in a product that I feel like we're gonna use a lot and that I can confidently show you how to use and that you're going to enjoy as much as I do. For instance, when we got rivets and grommets, those are 2 like really brand new things for us. But just keep in mind that a lot of times the reason I choose not to bring something in, number 1, confusion. Because if we have 2 different styles of the same exact thing, how do we always differentiate? What if we hire somebody else? What if, like, you know, there's just so many ways to mess things up, and we don't like messing up orders. The other reason is I typically have a minimum, and this is it varies across vendors. I have a minimum of anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 pieces per color, and we carry 6 colors. So that means I am getting 6,000 to 12,000 of something, and I have to have bins for it, and I have to have shelves for it, and then we have to have shelves for the extra stuff that doesn't fit in the bins. So it's not that I am opposed to bringing in products, but I have to be smart about what's going to work for us and what we're going to use and how to tell you like why you would want to use this product. So it was a very long answer, but I hope that answered your question.
But things do show up on the doorstep every once in a while.
Every once in a while,
Surprise.
they do. And I usually tell them what's happening, but sometimes it's not because I keep secrets. It's because I am forgetful and I do something and I'm like, oh, I'll see Barb and Marlene. I'll tell them what's going on. And then like 2 weeks goes by and I forget. And then I'm like, oh, don't forget. And then the product shows up. I'm like, hey, surprise. We have something new. I forgot to tell you about it. I am super forgetful. And right now in my life, I have a lot of stress going on. Everyone's healthy. It's nothing like that. It's just dumb stuff. But when I get stressed out, I really can't think and I really forget everything. I got home Monday afternoon and I had this list of things I needed to get done. And you know, when you're driving home, you're like, I'm going to remember that. I still haven't done all those things. So if you are still waiting for an email back from me or anything else, I didn't forget about you. Yes.
She wants to know if there's a link for the cork bag you just showed. I forget the name of that one.
Alice.
Alice. That's
Alice is on the floor.
It's on the
Alice is on the patterns page, yes.
Yeah.
And I believe the cover is blues and greens, so you will see it.
yeah.
There's 2 sizes.
Next, is there any cork with winter or Christmas designs on it?
There is. We had a little bit of it last year. It's not something we carry all year round. We usually get it in the fall before Christmas, and I'm sure we will be doing that again. And some Halloween corks. They came out with some awesome Halloween stuff like the end of October. And I'm like, no, I need it now. Like I need it in stock now. So I said, well, these will have to wait. So unfortunately, I have to plan things way in advance. So probably end of summer, beginning of fall, we'll probably start getting some of like the holiday stuff in.
Any idea when rectangle poles will be back in stock?
They are back. They are right there. I haven't put them on the website yet because I haven't opened the boxes. They were delivered yesterday. So I will try to remember to do that as soon as Facebook is done. We have the gunmetal, the rainbow, and the silver. Yes, that's what we were out of. So if it says we're out, they're back in. So yes, I can see the boxes. They're right there.
I see them. Yeah.
They came in yesterday, and Eric had some people doing stuff, and somebody went to touch the box. I was like, "Don't touch that! I need that!" I'm like, "That you can't have that. That's mine. Do not take that anywhere. I need those boxes." Really. It's like we've been waiting and waiting for them to come in. So, do we have any more questions?
Not yet.
Okay.
Nope.
So it's funny. I made the Alice bag, and Alice was my grandmother, and I found this, and I always have this somewhere around, but I never know exactly where it is. This
Is that your grandmother?
This is my grandmother's. So you can see it's kind of dirty and gross. But my grandfather gave me a bunch of her things after she passed away. And I never knew that my grandmother made a quilt. One
Just
single
one?
quilt.
Okay.
Funny thing is, my grandmother was alive when I was quilting. I showed her what I was making. She never once mentioned that the blue and white star quilt on the guest room bed, she made that. I didn't know. I had no idea. I was like, maybe somebody made it for her. So let me see. Yeah. So here it is. This is Easy Quilt.
the pattern.
This was, is there a year on this? There must be a year somewhere. 1991. So I don't remember her making this. I don't remember her talking about it. I guess she didn't like quilting because she made this quilt and then she never talked about it again. So she made this. It was like a baby blue and white. But look at this ruler and imagine trying to cut with this ruler. This is her ruler. Why she has duct tape on it, I don't know. Maybe that was to help it from sliding. But this was her ruler. So you might be thinking, well, yeah, but they didn't use rotary cutters. Nope, she had a rotary cutter. So I don't know how my grandmother had fingertips cutting on that ruler, but this was her rotary cutter. And it's
she
one
had
of like the
one.
old
Yeah.
school Olfas that it really
Yeah,
light.
yeah.
She cut with this. Like, look at this ruler.
It's so thin.
It's so, and I mean, there's no,
Times have changed.
I don't even know who made this ruler because they didn't want you to know either.
Yeah, really.
It's like, Grandma, why did we not talk about this ever? Oh, and this was a quilter's template kit. She's got plastic and pattern. Look at how yellow that is. This is old.
Yeah.
But she never told me this. Not one single time did this woman ever say, well, I made a quilt.
Yeah.
I guess she didn't like quilting. She liked it enough to make it once. I wanted to, Ben Franklin. Do you guys remember Ben Franklin?
Yeah.
I loved Ben
Yeah.
Franklin.
An easy angle ruler, that's been around forever.
Yes, this, it's even got her full address on it. Sharon Holtgren. Yes, so this was, oh, what's this? Pins? Pins, and that's my grandmother's handwriting. I miss my grandma. So, yeah, so these were hers, and it's just still funny to me. The day that he gave me all these things, I'm like, wait a minute, why have we never discussed this before? And then my grandmother had a thing about lace. I think we had lace on everything we owned. I guarantee you this came from Woolworths. I guarantee you it is from Woolworths. I'm actually surprised the rest of it's not. But my grandmother
my mother's.
loved lace.
Yeah.
So that's a little insight into my grandma, Alice. She was a funny woman. She was very, very quiet. But if you made her mad, she had no problem telling you that. Don't make grandma mad. So I always move this. I don't know how this ended up here. Why is it in the office? I have no idea. But I know that it's been in every office I've ever been in, and it's not a nostalgia thing, like I bring it with me. It somehow ended up in the boxes one day and never went away. So that's my grandma's little bag of quilting stuff that she promptly put away and never took out again. Ben Franklin, $2.95 for this book. I just crack up at that. So
Here's a question for you.
yes.
Are you supposed to clean the self-cutting board? And how?
So, okay, I personally have never cleaned mine because I don't cut a lot of stuff that like gets stuck. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you're cutting like fleece or like anything that kind of like sheds like that, there are videos on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure Kimberly from Sweet Red Poppy, she has a ton of tutorials and YouTube stuff. She works with Joann's and Cricut and Janome, and she works with a bunch of different companies. I've met her years ago. She's really, really sweet. I'm pretty sure it was her that just put up a tutorial on how to clean them. I don't know how to clean them because I never have. And it's not like, oh, it gets dirty and I throw it out. I've got mats that have been around forever. Those mats that are in that office, God, they've been around forever. We've never cleaned them. We ripped through them at some point because we cut in the same spots. I know. We'll get new ones at some point. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I know there's a whole way that you can do it, but I have not done it. Since you're asking questions, I did see a couple of questions on here when I posted, so I wanted to just read them. I saw them pop up and I didn't read them, so I want to see. I saw a couple things. Hold on. Don't mind me just staring at my phone. I am coming. Typical. I just sit here and stare at my phone and you watch me. It's great. I'm starting to realize why some people on YouTube don't like me. Oh well. So, okay. Let's see here. Wanda wants to know, can you heat press cork and iron on a design? So there's a couple parts to that question, and I'm going to answer them for you. I have a heat press. I have talked about it before. I have never specifically put my cork in the heat press, not for any particular reason, but mostly because I use the heat press for interfacing. And I interface cork here and there, but not a ton of it. Do I think that you can? Yes, because I iron on it. If I can iron on it, why can't I put it in the heat press? So have I done it? No. Would I do it? Absolutely. And the heat press, I think, is somewhere on the floor over there buried. We really need to get organized, and by we, I mean me. I will throw a piece on there and see what happens, but if I can iron it, I don't know why I couldn't heat press it. Now, as far as putting a design on it, I did this before, and do you use the notes section in your phone? Mm-hmm. I have notes in my phone that go back so long that don't even have reminder dates. They're just like, don't forget to try this. There's a note in my phone that dates back, I don't even know how long, that says, make iron-on decals and bring to shows. I don't do shows anymore. But I did on something I made for my sister and something I made for myself. I think I made boxy pouches. And I cut out with my Scan and Cut a little whatever, and I ironed it on with my regular iron, and it worked really nicely. So iron on vinyl and cork, perfect. Heat press and cork, don't see why you can't. So that is a little experiment for me. Once I once I can get myself organized. I've been trying for 42 years and it hasn't happened yet. I'm trying really hard though.
We've been trying to get her.
They're trying, it doesn't work. But here's the problem. Okay, let's elaborate on that. Here's one of the problems. This lady right here, Marlene, she desperately wants me to be organized to the point that like she would do it for me and throw things out and she's like, let's get rid of things now. Where Barb, I'm like, I'm not quite ready. Barb's like, okay. She just goes with whatever I say. So these two fight against each other and I'm in the middle going, okay, can we deal with this another day? And then it doesn't happen. Am I wrong? I'm not. Marlene wants to throw out everything I own that we don't sell. And Barb's like, no, just let it go. So that's kind of where we're at. And then there's Eric, who is not going to help me at all because in the midst of all of the cleaning we've been doing, I find random things that are his.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you haven't touched this. I don't even know what this is. I'm just going to throw it out. And he goes between, well, don't throw it out. Oh, maybe throw it out. Well, don't throw it out. I'm like, make a decision or I'm throwing it out. Oh, I guess just throw it out. Well, it's too late. I already threw it out. It's gone. Heather also asked, what is the one thing you dislike about sewing? Mine is ironing on interfacing. Well, what I dislike about sewing, I think what I dislike is that I don't have a set space set up. If you have like an actual sewing room that is just for you, where you just do sewing stuff, you have no idea how blessed and fortunate you are. I used to have one. Then we started renovations in our house and I lost it. Now I have a corner in the living room. I have a cutting mat on my dining room table. I have like, and it's not big enough. Like when you want to roll something out, you need space. I always have stuff in my way. Here, I could cut here because we've got plenty of space, but they're working and I don't want to be, I can't be underneath them. I don't have space in the studio because I only have one table. So I think part of my issue is that I don't dislike cutting, but I don't have a good place to do it, so it just makes it harder. And I think back to when I had a designated table, a huge table in my sewing area where it was just my cutting mat, and it was like, it was peaceful. I was like, I can roll out a bolt of interfacing, I can do whatever. Do I love ironing interfacing? Not really. I would rather just sit down and sew, but obviously you gotta do one to do the other. And I think what I dislike is that I don't have a space. I need space that's mine. When you're creative, and we all are, you need that creative space where you can make a giant mess and not have to worry about it and not be in the way and not be constantly cleaning it up. So I think that's probably my biggest, but it's not specifically sewing related. Probably the thing I hate most about sewing is when I break a needle because it scares me every time. I think I'm going to poke myself in the eye and I think I'm going to mess up the timing of my machine. So I hear that noise and I'm like, ah! I'm like, what's happening? So I just get really anxious. I also have a hard time starting. Like, you know, like I wake up and it's a Saturday and I'm like, I'm going to sew today. And I do 12 other things before I sit down. Once I get going, I don't want to walk away from the machine. Like once I'm at the machine, I'm like, no, leave me alone. So my biggest complaint with sewing is my area, it's that I don't have a good area.
Well, you know, the bigger the space, the more.
The bigger the space, the more you have. But all I want is a table or a surface that is designated to only my cutting mat and nothing else. I don't want it to be a collector of things. I don't want it to have other things. I just want that area where I can cut, lay out my pieces, check everything, and then go to my ironing service. I want space. I need space. That's my problem. So, yes.
My biggest challenge is
what is yours? Tell me what your biggest challenge or dislike of sewing is.
Well, as of right now, my living room and dining room have the long arms and sewing machines and
two rooms, two long arms, plural. She has two long arms, not these, but like two giant machines.
But it's carpeted.
Oh, carpet and threads.
In August, I am getting rid of the carpet.
I can understand that.
But
yeah, carpet's hard.
The long arms, there's bins and bins and bins
of stuff.
There are shelves full of stuff.
I haven't been to your house in so long. I haven't seen the new.
Yeah. There's so much stuff that's gonna all have to be taken out.
Well, I know somebody that would love to throw it away for you.
No, she's not allowed. But it's all gonna have to go in the garage.
Yeah.
They are gonna put the long arms on sliders or something to get the carpet out.
Yeah.
They're putting down. Like
There is
laminate.
There is nothing worse, and it feels like being in purgatory when you want to do something in a space that you live in. Like if you were moving to a new house and you could just like arrange however you want before you move in, there is nothing worse than being in that room and be like, you have to move everything. You just did it with your floors. And then you have to put it in, and then you got to put all the stuff back. It's like, oh, this feels like the worst punishment ever. Who did I make mad? Like, it's terrible.
Yeah, so it's gonna be-
It's terrible.
And we want to paint too while everything's
Well, I don't blame you. You might as well
So,
paint and get
yeah.
rid of it, but yeah.
I'm figuring a couple weeks at least.
That you're gonna have to put your business
Yeah.
aside.
Yeah.
That's another thing. That's the thing that's hard. Like, don't think that I haven't wanted to paint walls in here before and like do things.
Exactly.
I don't,
Stuff
you know.
in the way.
I mean, in that office especially. My God, we don't have room to move anything, and if we wanted to, we would be shut
Yeah.
down
Yeah.
to have to do stuff, and that would be awful. It would be That's why the studio, when they put it together, was great. Because there was nothing in it. It was
Right.
floors, paint, everything was done
Right.
before I moved in. It wasn't like, oh, move this table so we can hang lights. That was a blessing.
Here's a question for me.
Oh, a question for Barb.
Terry wants to know what type of long arm do I have, computerized or hand guided? Well, I have 2 computerized machines. I also do hand guided, but they're both handy quilter machines. One's an Avante, the other one's an Infinity.
If you did not hear all that, which I'm sure
yeah.
you did because she's near the microphone, let us know and we'll repeat
Yeah.
that. But Barb has 2 handy quilters. Marlene also has a handy quilter. Which one do
Right,
you
Avante.
have? Avante. You have an Avante and an Infinity. Which is the bigger one?
The Infinity.
The Infinity. Okay. And you have computers on both of them,
Yeah.
right? And you have a computer on yours. I don't understand half of what they do at all. I don't understand it. I don't get it at all. Every time they're not here, the 2 of them are posting on Facebook what they're quilting, and I'm like, don't understand it. Love it. Think you're both immensely talented. Don't understand it at all. I guess my thing, and let me ask you guys this question since today is whatever. What made you want to quilt for other people? Like, to me, it feels nerve-wracking because you're like, if I was making a bag and I was just making it start to finish, it's my stuff, it's fine. But if somebody was giving me their bag or giving me their fabric and saying, here, you finish it, I don't think that mentally I could do that. What made you want to do that for other people? And like, why are you so comfortable with it? Because it kind of freaks me out a little.
I don't know. I started it before I retired. I started
That's
doing
true,
it.
yep.
And in the back of my mind, it was going to be my business when I retired to keep me occupied, give me something to do. And, you know, I've done it by word of mouth and it's gone.
Was it your motivation in buying the long arm, or did you want it regardless?
No, that started with my son and daughter-in-law, who my daughter-in-law happened to see I guess you would call it a mid-arm on a frame, and said, oh, that's kind of cool. And so Sean bought it for her. She really didn't like it, so I would
So
go to their
you
house and
inherited
use it. And then they moved upstate and said, oh, why don't you keep it? So I kept it, and then I was so frustrated because it was little. It only had a 9-inch throat. So they said, go ahead, trade it if you want. And that's just started everything. They came back from down south and said, oh my God, what the heck did we create? A monster.
What was yours? Like, what did you buy it to have a business, or did you just want it?
No. My friend and I, not that friend over here, my
A different friend.
Linda and I,
Yeah.
who worked together at DOT, had talked about it for a while because she had a house, she lived upstairs and she had a downstairs, and we'd say, oh, let's make that a little shop or whatever when we retire. Linda didn't really get to enjoy her retirement. She retired and had an aneurysm and
Linda.
died.
Okay, yes.
And at that point, I said, she didn't get to enjoy
That's right,
that.
yeah.
I'm just gonna buy one and have fun.
Well, there you go.
So we got her to buy one.
So we got her to buy one.
Then I convinced her to get the computer for it.
Right.
She curses me every day she uses
Every
it.
day I use it.
But there's gonna come a day where you're like, I can do this all by myself, and it's great, and you're gonna be like, I'm glad I have it. It will
That's
happen.
why I'm going on this cruise in November with the handy quilter people.
So
to
you
work.
can just
right.
be
So we're
immersed
gonna be-
in it, and I get it. I understand.
Yep.
But she really wants to go to Disney. That's
Well, I mean, I don't blame her.
Basically, I'll go anywhere. Just tell me we're going, and man,
That is
grab a
true.
toothbrush. I'm ready to.
That
rock
is
and
one
roll.
thing. Marlene is
love to
always
go.
road trip ready. Like, it doesn't matter where it is, and she's like, all right, I'll go.
I'll go.
So, you know.
100% true.
Well, as long as it's
I
somewhere
want
fun.
to
I
go
mean,
with you sometimes, but I go. See, I get hit again.
You got it.
do we have any more questions?
Is Beth Custer on?
Well, she's
You
not
should show
usually.
Jess her picture.
Oh my goodness,
Oh my
friend
God,
of
Jess.
ours.
Oh, if you could have seen her
Picture this being her sewing machine.
fabric and all over.
Well, it makes me feel a little bit better.
It is piled up.
There is, I don't, she put it on Facebook. So
I looked
I
on
probably
Facebook. I just
did.
looked. I didn't see it.
let me see if I can find it.
So let me show you. I found some other things, and again, I literally have no idea why these are here. Why are they not
Why
at
are they
home?
a quilt shop?
Why
Yeah,
are they
really.
in my shop? But these
old they
are
are.
my grandmother's cookbooks or cookie
books.
books.
Cookie book.
Cookie book. Cookie with a Y. I did not know that we ever spelled it that way. And I was looking at these yesterday. This one, this is first edition. I think this one was 1963. One was 1960. And I'm really bummed out though because this one does not have, yeah, see, it doesn't have, it has all these like great tips and all these things. These are not the books that have the how to be a good housewife tips. I think that one is at home. Now listen, if you have
Do you
old,
follow those tips?
absolutely, 100%.
I bet you.
I
dress
don't.
up
One
and
about
wear a
telling
pearl
you to get
necklace.
dressed up and all
Yes,
that stuff,
so
make
if you
sure
have
things are
if you
done.
have one of these old ones at home, these cookbooks, if you haven't looked at it in a while, go look, because I know that I have one at home. Again, I don't know why these are here, but I remember opening it up and it was like right in the very beginning, and it was like, but wait, before you start baking cookies, you need to be a presentable housewife.
Yes.
And it told you to make sure that you did not have sweats on when your husband came home. And a lady should always have her makeup done because you always want to look presentable. If you look presentable and you feel your best, you'll do your best job in the kitchen. And it was this whole, now in 2022, it is so insanely barbaric to think that this was what we cared about. But I think about it now, and there are pictures of my grandmother in her dresses and her hair all done. And if you knew my grandmother, like, more present day, you'd be like, that's not the same. Oh yeah, the dresses, the pearls, the whole thing. Because that's what we cared about.
June
Cleaver.
We had to, we all wanted to be June Cleaver. And it's so funny because now I'm like, it says like, don't wear sweatpants in front of your husband. I'm like, if you saw the absolute swamp monster that I've looked like this entire, this is the first time I put on makeup since last Saturday. I haven't even washed my hair until like last night. I got a baseball hat on, I'm sweating because we're cleaning stuff. I don't want to be, I'm not gonna wear this. So I'm looking and going, well, good thing I don't have to follow those rules because I'm pretty sure I'd be divorced now. I wouldn't be a good housewife. But it's just so funny how times have changed in
gosh,
so many
yeah,
ways.
yeah.
I thought these were the ones that had the rules in them. I think that one's at home. I don't know why this is here, but it somehow has followed me around. So when I move, I'm gonna take it with me. Like if I go somewhere, I think this will always be in whatever office
Yeah.
I'm in because for some reason it's where it is.
You might want to start baking.
I might
you
wanna
don't
start
wanna
baking.
Bring it home so you have it there when you get the urge to bake
No,
cookies.
I do bake Well, Eric's diabetic. I don't bake that many cookies, but you know, I
We're
do.
not.
But I don't really
We're
use.
not.
I don't really use
We're not
these.
diabetic.
You're not. Barb's like, we're not. Listen, fun fact, things about me that you may not know. Well, I know you don't know because I've never told you before. I actually am a really good baker, and most people would not assume that about me because for some reason they think that I'm useless in the kitchen. Probably because I've said that I can't cook. Cooking and baking are two different things.
Two different
Two
things.
vastly different things. I cannot cook. I also don't care about cooking. It doesn't
Me too.
it doesn't make me happy. I wish that I went home and was like, I want to make a roast. No. But I do love baking, and I will give myself props for this. I am such a good baker that I almost started a business, and then I decided I don't really want to be in a food business. Kind of makes me uncomfortable,
Thank God.
all those rules. But I used to make cupcakes, and like I don't just make a cupcake. Like I decorate it. It's all done. And I made them for a bridal shower, and people were like, "Where did you buy these cupcakes?" I'm like, I made them, thank you. And my friend's mom was trying to convince me to start a cupcake business. I thought about it for like 5 minutes and decided not to. So that is something about me that you probably would never have
in
known.
your free time in the next
You know,
week or two.
I stopped.
in your free time.
I stopped baking when we got really busy here
Yeah.
because I don't go home and have that urge anymore. Plus, there's only two of us, and he can't really have that, like, and then that means I'm going to eat all of it.
Right.
And then if I bring it to my family, then my mom's complaining, I don't want that. Ugh. So it's just, and you can't, anyone that bakes knows you can't
Yes.
make like a few cookies.
No.
Like it just doesn't happen
No.
that way. So, but my grandmother was a good baker, and that's where I got it from. I also used to be in jewelry design. That's probably where the new investment in earrings has come back, because I used to do that for a living. So, fun facts about Jessica.
Okay, here's just a fact.
Yes.
that Heather says her nan vacuumed in heels and all done up. When she was a kid, she never did that. We had sweats on clean. And then Terry would on, did you have fun in Paducah? Did you bring fun items home to show us?
I had an amazing time in Paducah. Anytime that I get to be around Cassie, I have the best time. Cassie and Joel are like mine and Eric's like southern counterparts. I absolutely just adore them. I love hanging out with her. Her shop was so much fun. And I knew that it was a family business, but I did not know that his grandparents started it. I found that out. It was, I thought his parents started it. I met his parents. Oh my God, I wanted to just eat them up. They're so cute, so southern. I met them once very briefly at probably the last Paducah show that I was at. They came and Cassie was like, those are Joel's parents. But it was like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
Whatever. They came in the classroom. So freaking cute. His dad is so teeny tiny. He's just adorable. They come in the classroom and they're both standing there smiling at me, all happy. And they're like, we're so happy that you're here. Thank you for coming to the shop. I was like, oh, you're welcome. You guys are adorable. Cassie is very lucky. She has really good in-laws. That's all I'm going to say about that. So she's very fortunate. So part two of that question, did I bring fun things home? No, because I totally forgot. I walked through the shop on Friday and I made this mental list of all these things that I wanted to bring home. Saturday was such a great day. We had an amazing class.
We had a big class.
We had a big class. We had such a great time. I mean, just absolute wonderful people. A couple of them I had met previously, but it's been a while. And then most of them I had just met, and I feel like I made friends. Like they were amazing. We were so busy and trying to get so much done on Saturday that all of a sudden I was packing up and leaving, and I'm like, oh shoot. I was driving home when I realized I forgot to get things. So I guess I will have to send my friend a text and say, hey, could you send me some fun things? Because I wanted to bring them back and show you guys. So yes, I already lost that thought. Oh, Jesus.
But here's a funny interjection.
To
for
bring
you.
it, because the thought just went.
Linda said her grandfather used to mow the lawn in his suit and tie.
Stop it.
Granted, it was a small patch, but he still did.
Stop it. That's.
And Renee says when she married her late husband, he was in the Navy, and they got a book on how to be a good Navy wife.
Okay, so are we the weird ones for rebelling against this, or were they weird for mowing the lawn in a suit? I don't know. That's really funny.
Sweating.
I know. I imagine how, like, I don't want to be in my nice clothes and be all sweaty. Like, ugh. I need to vacuum. Like, but I'm waiting till Facebook's done because I'm going to change. Because, like, I don't want to vacuum. I don't want anything on
Back
me.
then, he was probably pushing the mower.
He probably,
Yeah,
oh,
right.
exactly. He was
Motorized.
outside pushing the mower with his
real mower.
handkerchief blotting his forehead. Like, I'm picturing this right now. That's hysterical. That also,
That's even funnier.
oh my God, tell me.
Helene says her dad used to mow the lawn in his Speedo. It was hysterical.
Oh my God, in a
Working on his
Speedo.
tan.
Well, I mean, hey, you're outside. I mean, I
Hey, did you
understand.
see on Facebook
Oh,
that
you
new
were
trend
crazy.
with the men's bathing suit?
No? Oh boy.
Oh boy.
God, I wish I could.
Marlene will share that one later.
I gotta find it. Holy Barb.
I do have a question from Tricia.
Oh, please, please.
Are you making earrings for the website on your to-do list?
I
Or are
am.
you making earrings?
I am. So, without getting into a lot of details right now, I'm very stressed out. We have a lot of things going on. I can't share them with you, and I will. And everything's fine. Eric still has 9 toes. He has not lost any more. We're good. Everything. It's
Everybody's
nothing
good.
like that. It's just chaos, because I don't know if my life will ever just be normal. I don't know what I would do with myself if I just woke up and I was like, today's just a regular day. My regular is, so probably one of my plans was something I had to do this weekend. It's probably not going to happen. Like 99% sure it's not going to happen. So since it's a holiday weekend, and I'm pretty sure that Eric will not be home, I think that I am going to take that time to make some photographs and just start uploading things, because as weird as it is, and I thought I would never do this again, I want to start, oh my God. Marlene,
shit.
I want to start selling, not that.
Yes, Charlie, maybe he knows about this trend.
Let's not tell anyone about that. I want to start selling things that I've made, not as like a major part of the business. Like I have some samples that like I think it's time to let them go. I think Eric keeps asking me and I'm like, shut up, let me think about it. But also I am kind of having fun making earrings, and I only have 2 ears and there's only 7 days in a week, so I can't wear them all the time. But I am having fun playing with all of my acrylic. So, and I found a new company. I'm not looking at your phone right now. I found a new company. No, that has really, really cool, like fancy acrylic. I don't even care at this point. So, yes, that is one of my goals. I will probably work on it this weekend, along with other things. Excuse me. Just because I have some free time, which does not normally happen, because plans in our life change. As Eric says this all the time, and I remember when he used to say this, it used to annoy me, but then I realized he wasn't wrong. He was like, my life changes minute to minute. And because he'll say to me, on this day, I'm doing this. And then that day comes and I'm like, did you do that? And he's like, no, I did all of these things. I'm like, but that was your plan.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who can't stick to a plan? And then I realized, like, me, most of us,
Yes.
if you can stick to a
No,
plan.
but I got a business idea for you, a new little venture.
Oh, good.
You could make embellishments.
Will you stop with it? I'm firing you today.
Okay, I got a question.
A real question.
Okay, where to go? Any new template ideas?
Template ideas? Yes, I have many. New templates done? No, I have not. Because I was out of town and I didn't get a chance to do too much. I do have some requests. I got some emails after we chatted, not last week, the week before, about like flaps and stuff. So there will be some new templates in that region. And I am still, before I send out any of the Everly orders, because a lot of you ordered the fussy cut template, I am playing around with getting the placement, like guide for the twist lock in place. Now, hold on. It is not going to be a hole that's cut out where you trace it. And I told you why. Because I can't guarantee that you're going to get the exact product that I tell you to, and I don't want anyone to be sad because something went wrong. But as Charlie mentioned, and he's right, I know where my seam allowance is, but what about the twist lock? What if I don't want it covering something up? So to have that just as a guide, I am working on getting that kind of laid out so I can get those templates ready to ship out. But other than that, I did get a few email requests, and I have another list in my phone of all of the templates, and yes, I will be coming out with more. I'm going to keep just adding them on as they happen, and you know, ask Lori. Lori's the one that said, Jerry, are you going to do an Everly template? And Sue Smith said, I love ginger.
Yeah.
I do listen to you guys. 100% I do listen to you.
So we need to congratulate Helene.
Yes, we do.
She
and
slept until 8:30 today because it's the first day of her
retirement.
retirement.
Yay! And Joe Evans, who's not on now, I'm sure, but she will be later if she's not. Congrats on your retirement too. We
she
have 2
retired?
retirees. Yeah,
Yeah,
I believe
congrats,
today.
Joe.
Today is either her last day or her first day of retirement, but whatever it is,
Awesome.
July 1st. So, congrats. I think that's awesome.
Welcome to our world, Helene.
Not mine.
Marlene and mine.
Really? Really? I have 4 jobs now since I retired.
I got 2. My son says I work more now than I did when I was
You do.
working,
I hear that
so-
from a lot of people that retire.
Yeah.
So,
But it's fun.
I don't understand because I will probably never retire.
You have to keep busy. So.
I have to. You got to keep busy because you have to keep your mind and your body
That's
busy.
right.
It's a good thing. So,
Exactly.
do we have any more questions for this most insanely random Friday?
Yeah, all right. Is there a smaller snap machine for a person that makes just a few wallets?
Like a rivet setter? Is that what you, I assume that's what you
She says
mean?
a snap machine, so I'm not sure what you mean.
I'm going to assume that you mean a rivet setter, and I would say the small handheld cam snap is a really good option. You can do anything you can do with the big one, but it is smaller, it's more reasonably priced, and it's actually really easy to use. So,
Thank you, Shelley. You just enabled Marlene. Shelley says, don't Google lawn mowing in a Speedo, especially an American flag Speedo. You're welcome. And Helene says, you know what we're all doing right now.
I know what everyone's doing right now.
Including Marlene.
You guys are funny.
Joe retired yesterday.
Thank you. I knew it. I was like, June 30th, July 1st, we're somewhere in that range.
Elaine says she's coming to visit.
Elaine's coming to visit.
Elaine says she's coming.
If you come to visit today, you're going to have to vacuum. So, thank you, Shelly. Thank you, Shelly, because I have no idea what's happening and I actually don't want to know. So, I didn't mention in the beginning, but yeah, you will learn absolutely nothing from today's Facebook video. So, if you don't want to sit here and laugh for no reason, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry that I'm telling you this now. I guess I should have warned you in the beginning. But you know what?
Put a warning out beginning. Warning.
I feel like even doing that, there's still going to be someone that's like,
oh, yes.
I still don't like you. And that's totally fine. It's fine. And I didn't address this, but because I had posted that video 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago. The video that I posted where I basically said, and I don't know why the audio was not syncing. It's a weird TikTok thing. Where I basically said, like, you don't have to watch and you don't have to come here just to be mean. It was not anything in particular. So for any of you that are like, oh, I'm so sorry for you, don't feel sorry for me. Trust me, I'm going to keep on doing this no matter what anybody has to say about it. If I cared what people thought, I never would be on Facebook. So it's just something that, as a content creator, you unfortunately deal with way more than you should have to. And I just felt like it needed to be addressed, and I will keep addressing it until the world is full of nicer people and they leave me alone. Because I don't need anyone to tell me I talk too much. I'm aware of that. Like, it's not news. I'm like, wait, I talk too much? This is news.
I laugh too much.
I know. You laugh too much? Yes. Barb was told to be quiet the other day, which I did not appreciate. So, you know what? As I said, and I'll say it again, I do what I do for you guys, the ones that are watching that actually like me. If you're here because this makes you miserable, you have problems. I don't know what to tell you. If you're here because you like me, then you are my audience. You're the person I'm here for. I'm not here for those curmudgeons that are mad at everything. They need to get over themselves.
Curmudgeons.
They are. They're curmudgeons. There are a whole lot of other things, but I can't swear on Facebook. But I have choice words for them. So don't worry. I'm not going anywhere because honestly, if that was the case, probably May of 2020, I would have been gone. Because there's always someone you're going to make mad. I can't make anyone happy some days, but I can make you guys happy. So that's fine. So, you know, you got to do what you got to do. So I will keep standing up for myself and telling people to, as long as I want to. That's all. Because I can. So.
Shelly says, don't ever change. Tell those other people TTFF.
TTFF, exactly. Listen,
She says laughter is great. She loves us.
remember when you were in school, like when you were in elementary, not only did you get grades, but they would give you like feedback to give to your parents. Mine always said Jessica talks a lot. Not too much. Because you can't be mean to the kids. No, Jessica talks a lot. Jessica has great stories to share. Jessica always has something to say. Like, some things never change. So, you know.
I do have another question.
Oh, I love questions.
This is a test of your brain.
Oh, God. Okay.
Oh, boy.
Hold on. Okay, I'm ready.
This is a top seller question.
Oh, God.
What color of acrylic are your top sellers?
Why would you put that pressure on me? Okay. Just like with everything else. Just like with everything else, things do change. But I would have to say, green glass is huge. Green glass, I run out of a lot. Fluorescent pink, those are probably right up there. A lot of people like clear. I have nothing against clear, that's fine. But I would say I do seem to run out of the most green glass and pink. I use a substantial amount of yellow, and orange is not too far down, but I think orange is one of those colors where like you'll love it or hate it. And even though it's a template, some people are like, oh, I don't like orange. But we don't really have anything in blue except the aqua pearl, which aqua pearl is probably the most popular out of like the non-see-through ones, because remember, you can't use that on all the templates. So on the ones that you can, aqua pearl is way up there. And we also do a lot of the violet pearl, which I love. I think it's an absolutely beautiful color now. So those are definitely ones that I continually reorder.
Shelly loves the pink, but Vicki would like to know what you think is the easiest one to see the marking through.
I currently use pink and orange for most of my templates, and again, I've told you, we all see rulers differently. I don't do well with like fluorescent yellow things and yellow lines and green lines. So for me, I think the pink and the orange work the absolute best for me personally. Those are the ones that I really gravitate towards. Plus, clear, I can't see it. I put it down and I don't know where it is. But orange and pink I can see, and I've been using both of those interchangeably with some of the templates, because I don't always keep my templates. Sometimes I bring them and demo them, and then somebody says, can I buy this? And I'm like, okay. So I go back and forth with those. The yellow's pretty good too, but I like to be able to see it on a table. If I set it down, you know, I'm not like, oh shoot, where did that template go? Because remember, some of them are small, and if it's clear, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna completely lose it, so.
Elaine says she loves the orange and wants to try the green.
The green has been really popular, and the funny thing with the green is that when you hold it up, you don't see, like it's more clear, but when you put it on anything, you see how intensely green it is, because it's got that like, that's why they call it green glass. That wasn't me, that was their name for it, because it is like a piece of glass, like auto glass. Like when you look at it, it's clear, and then you're like, oh, it's kind of got like a green tint. So I really do like the green too, but I don't know, I love pink, so, and I like orange too, so.
She says she got the white glitter and she can't see the white markings.
Do we have any other questions?
No.
Okay.
Not right now.
Well, I think we're gonna call it a day. And as usual, we'll see you next Friday, but I don't know what we'll be talking about. I have no idea. I have stopped planning ahead.
Wing it Friday.
I used to have like an ongoing list of things, and now they just kind of happen. I'm still waiting for my needles to come in. Like, I don't know what's happening,
wow.
so I'm still waiting for like one packet of needles to come in so I can actually play with them and give you guys a sewing machine needles part 2. So it's coming. I just don't know when. But I'm gonna go home and take my cookbooks and be a good housewife and take my grandmother's stuff. It's so funny. She loved them.
Yeah.
So I guess that's it. Have an awesome 4th of July. Enjoy fireworks if you're going to it. I'm probably
Stay
not.
safe with them.
But I'll hear them from my house because the
Yep.
country club down the road always has fireworks.
Yep.
Zoe will not be having, but that's okay. And yeah, I think that's it. Have a great weekend.
Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of
everybody.
July.
Bye.